Marie from Underground Crafter, and today I'm going to show you how to use the circular sewing attachment.
Thanks to Baby Lock for sponsoring this video.
So before I get started, this is an attachment for most Baby Lock sewing machines. I here am today with my Brilliant machine. It works for any machine that has a threaded hole on the right side of the needle plate. So it does need to attach on your needle plate, and that's why that's important. Why would you use this? You want to sew perfect circles. If you're like me, your perfect circles don't come out all that perfect without the circular sewing attachment. They're like a little bit wiggly, or they're more like an oval. But if you want to sew a perfect circle or quilt a perfect circle, this is a great tool to help you do that. So today I'm going to show you how to use it. Okay, when you open the box, this is what you're going to have inside. Okay, so you have this one piece, which is the main part of the circular sewing attachment. You have an instructional booklet.
You have this template, which we'll talk more about later.
And you have all this hardware and presser feet. Okay, we're going to put this template aside for now, and I'm just going to show you how to attach the attachment. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this with the Baby Lock Brilliant machine. The first part is maybe you haven't looked at some of the tools that came with your sewing machine. So most likely they are stored in your front or your back storage if you have both, or in your front storage if you just have the one. But we're looking for a screwdriver that looks kind of like a disc with a little piece at the end. So it should look like this. I'm going to hold it up closer. So you're going to need that to put this together. Okay, the next thing is you're going to want to hold your circular sewing attachment this way. And that's because that's how it's going to be attached to the machine. I'm going to do this freehand for a minute. When you look at your needle plate, you'll see that there are several holes here. These are for various different attachments. And so this is going to be attached to the needle plate. So we're going to be using those today. So I'm going to lift the presser foot. And then at the back of your presser foot, you have a button. When you click that, the presser foot comes off. This is just to give you a little more space while you're working. We're going to take the circular sewing attachment and we're going to line it up with the different holes on the plate. So there's one here. Okay, and you see it clicks right into place once we line it up with that hole. Now we're going to take the little screws that we found in our package for the circular sewing attachment, and we're going to position it here. Okay, and you're going to take your little disc screwdriver that you had found before that came with your sewing machine, and you're just going to screw this screw in place. And don't forget, it's tighty-righty, lefty-loosey, so to get it in place, we'll be going to the right. Make sure that it's straight and not crooked as you do that. I'm looking at the camera, so I don't have a perfect view right now, but it is on. Okay, and now you have the circular sewing attachment in place. I'm going to put back my standard presser foot. Remembering again, you're going to push this button on the back and then line it up and it clicks right into place. And then I'm going to lower my presser foot. So the next thing you're going to do is on the side of your circular sewing attachment, there is a little flipping handle, okay? And you're going to hold on to that, and that's going to allow you to slide this piece. Okay, now why would you want to slide this piece? Because this piece gives you different measurements that help you to match the size of the circle you want to make. Okay, so you see from this, using this little handle, you can slide it into the position that you want. Okay, this next part is where things get interesting. You're going to want to try with a piece of fabric that has stabilizer on it. The stabilizer should be slightly larger than the piece of fabric, and you should attach the fabric to the stabilizer as instructed by the stabilizer. In this case, I'm just using a 5-inch square and so tearaway stabilizer that you pin on. Then you're going to take this piece, it's called the pivot pin, and it came in the hardware for the circular sewing attachment. Do this part carefully for two reasons. One, you're going to be removing this white piece, which is really small and easy to lose. And two, underneath this white piece is a really pointy thing, much like a needle, so you want to be careful. So you're going to slowly hold the white circle and pull on the little white piece. And the little white piece is going to come off. You can see there's a needle in there. I'm going to store this inside of my machine storage so I don't lose it. Okay, and so this pivot pin is what's going to help your circular sewing attachment work. It's going to ultimately be placed in the center of where you want the circle. So I'm going to lift up my presser foot and I'm going to put part of my fabric underneath the presser foot to make this next part easier. So here I want this to be roughly the circle center. So I pushed the pivot pin through. Now I'm going to go to the part of the circular sewing attachment that has a Y shape, and the pivot pin needs to go into the center of that Y shape. So I'm watching here. Now I'm going to push it down. Okay, so now that's locked in place. Then I'm going to lower my presser foot, and now I'm ready. I can use any kind of forward feeding utility stitch or decorative stitch for this circle. So I'm just going to use the standard, the standard utility stitch. So I'm going to hit start. I'm going slow because if there's any problems, I want to stop the machine before my circle gets ruined. And you can see that it's feeding nice and slow. I'm going to move this pin out of the way so it doesn't cause any problems. And hopefully you're seeing that a really nice circle is starting to form. And the reason you don't need to guide it is because the stabilizer is kind of holding it in place. But I would definitely recommend using a slower speed, especially the first time you use this, because otherwise the circle, you might end up tugging on the fabric and the circle is not going to come out as cute as this one. So, and you can see that, I'm just going to stop that the needle might hit on different parts of the plate, and that can make it sort of push into the parts that you're working on. And that's why you want to use a slow speed, at least when you're getting used to the circular sewing attachment. Now I'm going to speed this up on the video because I don't think anyone wants to watch how slow it is. But again, I recommend using the slow speed for your first circle. Okay, we're coming to the end of the circle, and you should let it sew over a little bit, or you can use a reinforcement stitch, whatever you prefer. And then we're going to start and stop. I'm going to use my cutting button, and then I'm going to first pull up the pivot pin, and then I'm going to pull up the presser foot and take it out. So now that you've made your perfect circle and you know why you might want a circular sewing attachment, let's talk about what else came in the box. So you had 2 presser feet included. Let's first talk about this one with the little piece hanging down. This is called a cording foot. And basically what you can do with this, and you can see it on the front, is you can sew over a decorative cord. So you can use yarn, you can use a thicker thread cord, and that can obviously be used for decorative purposes. So for the braiding foot, which is this one that's a little bit flatter looking, you can use anywhere up to, let me double check, anywhere up to a 5mm width of braiding. So both of these feet can basically be used similar to what you're seeing on the front here to attach decorative braiding or thread or yarn or cord over the surface of your fabric and sew over it. So this is a template, and this is helpful if you're using not just the straight stitch but some type of decorative stitch. And so this will help you use as a guide. There is also a chart that comes in the manual that comes along with the circular sewing attachment that converts all of these angles into measurements, so it'll help you understand the size of your circle. There is an extra one of these little screws that you need to attach the circular sewing attachment. So that's how you use a circular sewing attachment and what it is and why you might want to use it. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.